Here comes the nasty gram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nasty Gram RPG podcast. This is Cyberpunk Red Rising, Episode 6, Visitation.
Feeling it too hard is the poison to the heart of a cynic.
Finally, for all you Borgies, proles, and brain potatoes out there trying to score your day in court, is minor nobility poised to fall in Haywood? Badges and trauma teams seen in the area of your mainline fixer is bad for business and worse for edge runners. Hold on to your eds and keep your heads. Till next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Dan. I will be your game master in this digital universe of Cyberpunk. I'm joined by...
Hey, this is Jake, and I'm playing Fish, the smart guy with no cybernetics. The classes in this don't make sense. It doesn't make sense to say my class.
What's good, fam? Matt here. I'll be playing Mazzinho, the gangbanging heavy gunner.
Hey
That
guys.
works.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey guys, this is John. I am playing Slash Root, and you can find our next album on the Screamers. It's called Golden Ticket.
Hell yeah. And this is Devin. I'll be playing Bugbear, the metalhead in a meat space.
Love it. And just a couple of things for clarity. Matt's character is a gangbanger like gangs in the street. Not a different kind.
Not a racist.
No, hey,
Don't assume you know.
Yeah, right. And then just for point of order, and I'm sure we've mentioned this before, we are playing in the Cyberpunk universe, but we're using a different system. We're not using Cyberpunk Red. And there are a lot of reasons for that. We'll probably talk about it in the wrap up. But ultimately, we decided to use a system called Everyday Heroes, which is a modern system for the equivalent of D&D 5e. And we like it so far. Hope you do too.
Spoiler, we like it so much that this is probably not the only arc you're going to hear using it.
That's right.
100% true.
That's right.
It's basically D&D modern.
Yep. So, where we left off, the four of you had made your way in pairs back to a club called The Cage. It is a club that Slash Root has partial ownership in. It's known for hosting a lot of indie bands, a lot of death metal bands. It sort of has an unusual layout where there is an outside perimeter that has these glowing LED light strips that form what they call a cage. It's kind of like a beer garden, if you will. And the inside, when you walk in, it immediately drops off and there's a catwalk around the stage that rests below. And then there's the pit, and up above, even further on another mezzanine, there are tables for drinking and eating. And then there are a number of ancillary bars where people can get drinks and offices, etc., which Slash Root you have access to as one of the partial owners.
Yep.
So in walks Bugbear with Slash Root. Slash, you're immediately kind of inundated with people who, some who are fans, others who are employees who want to talk to you. So you kind of get bogged down as you walk through the doors, as any owner does.
No. You get autographs. That's on 2 days. I'll be signing autographs. Don't worry. To show up, then you have 2 drink minimum. Then I'll sign a shirt or your arm or whatever.
You're like those like B-list actors that go to conventions to get like, everything is a picture is $20. Yeah. Bugbear, you've got a cup of ramen in one hand and you're kind of slurping away at it as you work your way through the crowds. Fish and Mizzino, you are already in that back room. The people here have met you a few times. They know that you're friends with Slash, and they don't.
I probably called ahead or messaged ahead.
Sure. And the room is. What does the room look like, Slash?
It's a mix of an office and studio space. So there's a lot of audio equipment just strewn about on a desk. A lot of wires and things just randomly coming out of one piece of equipment into another. A couple screens you see with some audio like editing software. He left like a screamer vid on, just been playing the entire time you guys left. There's a couple guitars up against the walls. And then there's like a lounge chair kind of in the corner, like facing the desk where there's like a couple empty glasses of drinks that had already been drunk. They're just sitting there. It's kind of a mess, but
sure.
Yeah.
It's about right. And the four of you find yourselves in this room now. Drinks are being brought. You have the Baron's agent, his phone, agent as they're called in Cyberpunk. And you also, by chance, by luck, have a data chip that he wore around his neck. Jake, you also have the brain dancing chip. Fish pocketed it before he left.
I'm sitting there actually turning over that, softball size D12 in my hand, kind of looking at it, just spacing out, thinking.
Had Fish shown it to us or explained it at all?
I probably, I told you that. I didn't explain it, but I told you that Barca said that it would. I told you what he told me, that he said that we should keep it on us and it'll prevent the radiation they've been exposed to from harming us.
Hey, Fish, careful with that thing. If we need it to, defeat or capture or whatever, the radiation. I don't want to get radiation on me,
There's no radiation.
You've explored this thing for a while, and because you don't have a jack port on it, which it has as well, you have had to hook into it with those kind of VR goggles that you have in order to explore its settings and how it works. And it's a very complicated yet older piece of technology. And it has a variety of different settings within it that need to be tweaked based on different scenarios or feedback that it gets from the environment around it. Things that have to be adjusted accordingly in order to produce the right noise, the right static. And that's something that a man of your skills with your abilities in physics and other sciences has been able to kind of slowly learn and fine tune as you've had this object for, we'll say, about a week.
Slash kind of plops down onto the lounge chair, fishes out his revolver, sets it loudly on the coffee table, and then just without thinking, picks up one of the guitars next to it and just starts plucking away. It's not plugged in or anything.
You're waiting for drinks.
Yep.
What we saw in that brain dance was real. It wasn't altered.
That's Drek. How could that even happen?
I didn't really understand what this was supposed to do until we saw that brain dance. It didn't make sense.
Like the stuff at the end?
I think this is some sort of anchor, a tether. It'll stop the four of them from vanishing.
Vanishing. I don't know. Look, Fish, I've sniffed some dust that made me go from place to place instantaneously. My brain, it could have been that. They could have been drugged. That whatever they were standing on could have been gassed.
There's plenty
hallucinations. Your brain does things. This is a brain dance. It's reading your.
There's plenty of corporations that have tried to discover the secret of teleportation.
He does. You're thinking of this because you've kind of just been swirling around this idea, Fish. But he does raise an interesting point about brain dancing, which you'd never really considered, which is brain dancing sees what the brain imagines, what the eyes see. So it's possible that a brain dance could somehow show something other. You never really considered it before, but it's just an interesting thought. Your mind works that way.
Speaking of the brain dance, you notice the men that were after them, the ones that showed up in the...
Yeah, they were seriously kitted out.
They were.
Militech, the ambient music from the modular synthesizer changes as Bugbear is nervously just turning random buttons to see what they do.
Hey, Bugbear, don't touch that. That's worth more than, whatever you got.
I'm being careful.
I think they were Militech. You're right. All their gear, but they weren't wearing any sort of badges or insignia. Why not?
Is that odd?
Maybe they knew that Baron was, or whatever fixer can see, can watch. Everyone's bugged nowadays.
Well, or they knew that it was all being recorded, that it was a brain dance.
Could it be edited? Maybe someone got to it, and then how did Baron have it anyways? He got them from somewhere. Maybe he's working with these people,
or it's like I said, something scrambled their brains, and they made these Militech, kind of air quotes, soldiers, and it was maybe some guys in suits in a padded cell, and they're making all this up in their mind.
To what end? What would the goal of that be?
I don't know, to feed this brain dance to somebody, to get someone to come looking, or who the heck knows why corporations do what they do, man.
What did Barco offer you for this job?
Eddie's?
A lot.
Yeah, you better believe it. We almost just got swacked in that office, and this is dangerous.
He also offered media contracts.
Yep.
That is worth a lot more than Eddie's to Slash.
And Barca said he had some inroads with some of the major screamer networks. So
he also offered me a lot of Eddie's, as well as the Library of Alexandria.
What's that?
Information. Invaluable information. And I'm sure that the two of you were offered something quite valuable personally as well.
Mazzino's just, he's sitting on a couch just clicking 7.62 rounds into his belt-fed magazine, just kind of staring off, and doesn't respond.
Yeah, Eddie's and some chrome.
My point is, a man as successful as Barca doesn't just offer up these sort of contracts unless he's sure that it is valuable, what he's after. He's not going to be tricked into some fake brain dance scheme.
Or he's offering us up the world to throw us into a trap and hope he doesn't have to pay out.
Can Slash and Fish make deception checks?
6. I'm not good at lying.
24.
Okay.
Pretty good at lying.
It helps you spot a lie.
Yeah.
You don't think that Bugbear has said his whole truth.
Hey, kid, chrome. I mean, you're all chromed out already. Any more chrome and you're going to go crazy.
No, I want to do
You seen those cyber psychos on the news?
No, I'm going to do my legs next.
You skipped leg day.
No. What did he really offer you, Bugbear, huh?
I want the spot jump legs. I want the new ones.
No. With Eddie's, you can buy that.
The new Jordans.
The red ones.
When he gives you the Eddie's, you buy those. What did he really offer you?
Bugbear looks up from
Lie to me, kid.
He looks around. I just want to get my brother back.
Softy.
Switch. He stays with me.
Your brother is one of the men we're after.
Yeah. I thought he was a brain potato for a long time, just getting on my back. But no, he got involved with Baron because of me, and I asked him to help, and I'm gonna get him back.
And you, Slashroot, you know the kid.
Yeah. He's done work for me. I mean, we kind of were in the same circles, and I didn't hear back from Rat for a little while, and I was wondering. And this job came up kind of serendipitously.
Can we look at that chip?
Yeah. He stands up, kind of sets the guitar down, and heads over to his workstation and kind of holds his hand out for the chip to you, Bugbear.
Give it to you. And I follow you to the computer.
Yeah, he sets it down on the desk and plugs it into a sandboxed agent, and tries to get any information out of it.
That's the data chip that you.
Yeah.
All right. Give me just a second. I'm going to reply to Matt here, and then I'll.
A couple nastygrams.
Yep, nasty.
Swinging back and forth.
See, we in 2024, almost 2025, we can't see when the nastygrams are going out.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
What do you mean you can't see him?
But there's no physical nastygram.
you-
We don't see
I'm
the
reading it.
What is this?
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
just
Listen, Devin,
Wow.
you got
Wow.
Ye
four
of little
eyes and
faith.
you can't see shit. What
Ye
the
of
fuck?
little faith.
I'm trying to stay immersed.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, that's right. We're handwriting notes for our
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, why are we doing that?
Oh God, we're such old men.
so I think Mazzino stops clicking rounds into the belt, and he looks up towards Fish. Fish, nobody I know any of their phone numbers either.
Oh, their phone number.
No one you know?
No.
Well, it seems a bit odd, doesn't it?
Sounds like they got wiped.
Bugbear's going to pull out his agent.
I having the same thought, I go over to like a terminal and I say, "Is this? Can I use this?
Yeah. Just close the that.
That porn?
Yeah, the porn.
Close that porn.
Close that. Yeah.
Just close the window, though. Don't just minimize it.
Don't lose track of that one.
Don't close it. Minimize that.
You're gonna bookmark it
The
first.
audio's still playing.
I paused it.
He's clipping it for his music. Oh no.
I'm waiting to hear back from a few, but this Barca, he offered me eddies too. A lot. Also, inroads like you, Slasher, but for corpo jobs.
Corpo jobs.
The good money.
You're gonna go corpo, Ms.
It's good money.
Yeah, but you kind of like burn your entire soul to do it, man.
You were a bodyguard for a corpo kid for a little bit.
Probably an easy job.
If you get to use bigger guns, you get the best.
Dan, in that braindance we watched, there was a part where Sir Rat uploaded videos where he basically taunted. Was his name Baraka? No,
Barca?
Goru.
Yes.
Online. I'm looking for those videos.
All right. You are kind of scrolling through, and there are 4 file types, one for each person, and you find his.
I mean, I'm just searching the internet, like not.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just want to see if that is out there. Or if
Sure.
it's been scrubbed.
Yeah, no. Right now you can still find clips of it, and this is it's on what's called the data pool, which is pretty much almost a citywide network. There's not universal access. It's still kind of challenging to get into it. The agents don't access it either. They work on a separate network, but the data terminals all have access to it. If you're in an established place, there are data terminals everywhere. Not all of them are actually hooked into the data pool, but there you go. So yes, you can find, you know that it's not the original. The original was taken down.
Okay.
This is some username's version of it that they filmed off of a screen that played it.
Okay.
Mazzino's back to clipping rounds into his machine gun belt.
Your phone, your agent buzzes.
He's got a cyber brain.
Sure. You can see a little light LED flash on his head.
His cybernetic eye, you can see it kind of lights up, and there's like a small white dot that appears in his pupil. He stops. Oh, fish, my cousin. He said in the waterways they were spotted.
Not new information to you.
Yeah, because we saw it on the brain dance.
Yep.
So we know what that means. I suppose we know where that place is.
Yes, it's where the fun is happening now.
We're not looking for Zone 6. We're looking for...
Maybe when they went back there to, I don't know, do something else, figure out what's going on with them, reverse whatever happened to them.
Well,
Dan, just to help me recall how that game ended.
Sure.
And whose point of view was the brain dance from?
Probably either Mr. or Sir Rat, because they were the ones who actually teleported, right?
Yes. It was...
Or both. Yeah, maybe.
Yep. It was Sir Rat's.
So we saw on the brain dance him be in one place and then be in another, run through the survival shop collecting shit and then pop back. And then it ends with them getting caught.
So,
right?
A weird thing is you see that, but you also, the image flickers. So you see the image of him running through the shop, but then you see an image of like just gas clouds. But it's happening at the same time. They're not, it's almost alternating between the two. It makes it look almost like there's two videos playing and you see a bit of one and then a bit of another.
And then it ends with him getting caught and then it goes off.
You see a gun butt come sort of out, like your head turns, you see a gun butt come out of the smoke and
our job is to find them.
Correct.
Okay.
Switch said never go to the same place twice.
Switch said never go to the same place twice.
Well, he said don't dig the same hole twice, but you know.
Yeah, but what if it's the only hole you know that has? I'm losing my metaphor. What if it's the only place you can do the thing?
Can you get into like any computer?
I mean, not like Switch, but I can give it a go.
You, as you kind of say that, it prompts you to look back at that data chip.
Yep.
That
it's like running diagnostics or whatever.
And now that it's been cleared of any viruses or any security malware it has, you have access to a library of files. There are there's a sort of a title that says security. There's a title that says employees. There's a title that says finances. It goes on. It looks like his personal database that he would keep on his person.
Okay.
Tax forms 2037.
Yep. Can't throw those out yet.
It looks like his personal data. Financials. Some personnel information in here. Maybe the stuff his ethics wouldn't let him divulge. Yeah, why don't you knock yourself out, kid? And Slash just kind of steps back and sits back down on the couch and starts plucking away his guitar.
Mazzino, you should ask your cousin if they saw anyone else go in there. These people who are after them, they're the ones we need to find, right? We can assume that they still have the four. Then we need to find them.
Well, he did say the tiger claws and iron sights. That's where they're partying now.
Do you know them?
Rivals. I killed a few. There was one. I ran it over with my bike. His head popped like a fucking grape.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You got like vid of it or anything? I might maybe like rip it off and use it for like a video or something.
Somebody. I was riding the bike.
Oh, all right. Well,
yeah.
let me know if you can find vid of that, man. Yeah.
For free, yes. I'd find you a video of anything.
I'm not for free. I'd pay. Don't be like that, Miz.
Okay. Well, yeah.
After this conversation, can everyone let me know what their humanity scores are?
Slash is a 46 out of 60.
How is that determined again?
Your cybernetics, the strain value, double that strain value.
I gotta look up my strength value.
So this is a kind of a homebrew mechanic that we've developed because in Cyberpunk Red, there is always the risk of cyberpsychosis. As you become more machine than man, you lose your humanity and your sanity. And we wanted to bring that into this game. So we created a humanity score, which can be lost both from the strain of installing cybernetics and from trauma and violence and torture and all those fun things. So I'll occasionally ask the characters to roll, to make checks, to make sure they don't lose their mind. But I just want to get the starting line for most of the people here around the table.
Bugbear is 32.
Fish is 60 because he doesn't have any cybernetics.
I said
Full-bred human.
strain times 2.
Strain times 2.
58.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna.
If it's a 0, it's 1.
Okay, so 57.
I'm gonna have you down at a 48.
What?
You've done a lot of murdering in your
He
time.
has killed a lot of people.
You did grow up that way, so it's not less than, but yeah, you've had your fair share of trauma.
Fair.
Okay. So yes, the Iron Sights and the Tiger Claws are having some sort of war over that location.
Slasher, we need to find out where the security breach was. These 4, they had a mission. They went into this underground laboratory, but some third party, we can assume possibly Militech, was aware that they were there. So how were they aware? Maybe we need to watch the braindance, find out.
Maybe,
there
but
was
maybe
security
Baron
breach.
just sold him out.
His ethics would suggest otherwise.
Ethics, I've heard a lot of these fixers talk about ethics. A lot of people talk about ethics, that they'll never cross lines, but then you put, thousands of Eddies in front of their face, and all of a sudden, whoops, there go the ethics.
I tap that chip and I say, then follow the trail of money.
Yeah.
See if that's what happened.
Yeah, what do you got over there, kid?
You look at the screen and Bugbear has Baron had like little notes, little dossiers on his own, like his own runners or edge runners that he used, and Bugbear's reading his own file, and he's like, what the fuck? Volatile?
But Bugbear, you looking through his financials?
Easy to manipulate, volatile.
Criminal versatility.
On the C list.
No, what do you want?
Follow the money, like Fish said.
Okay. And pretty good intelligence. I find my way over to those files.
So you find a deposit in his financials that was dated 3 days ago for 200,000 eddies.
Is an Eddie roughly $1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Space bucks.
Is that a lot of money for him?
It's not an insignificant amount.
It's like a millionaire getting 200,000 or 100,000 getting.
Yeah.
Yeah. How well off is he?
I mean,
Small business
I
owner.
mean, fixers probably aren't much better off than.
he has highs and lows probably based on how well his edge runners do.
Yeah.
Baron offered them 100,000 eddies if they could bring back anything from that zone 6. So at the beginning of the brain dance.
Mm-hmm.
That 200,000 may have been a down payment from whoever he was hiring them for.
Yeah, but you say it was 3 days ago. Does that line up?
They disappeared 5 days ago.
Yeah,
Excuse me, Barca contacted you
5 days ago.
5 days ago to begin this mission.
That doesn't line up. 3 days ago, he gets 200,000 eddies. 5 days ago, we got the mission. So that wasn't for whatever the Four Horsemen?
That was for his silence,
Maybe.
his ethics.
Yeah, that is pretty strong ethics.
Make a
Insight?
John. Make an insight check for me.
Not good. Not good. An 8.
Okay.
Carry on.
Carry on.
Wisdom's my dump stat.
You only have one?
Yeah. Well, I have strength too. Strength is also my dump stat. He's literally on the lounge. He's letting Bugbear handle the.
Yep. You're back to
Investigation.
plucking away at your guitar.
What do you think, Fish? I mean, the money goes. Maybe we can follow the money. I don't know. I can trace it. Maybe
We could go out to the, what did you call it? The tunnels? The storm drains? Whatever it is.
Waterways.
The waterways. We could
get ourselves killed by some tiger claws.
not say possibly find out more information about the mercenaries that were sent after them. See if there's any local security systems that caught anything else. Anyone who actually saw them. We could investigate Site 6, although I doubt we'll find anything there. I'm sure it's been scrubbed.
I would much rather stay as far away from that place as possible. Thank you very much.
I think the key is to find the people who took them. And the key to that is to find out how they knew that they were going to be there.
Bugbear, you've moved on past yourself. You have now.
I pulled up that porn window again.
You refocus on yourself.
In a different way.
And you're kind of haphazardly clicking through now different files, opening them up, seeing what they contain. You are looking at employees. You've closed yours, and you're looking now through what are now being called the Four Horsemen. And the file on your brother is all stuff that you know. It's his apartment location, his contact information, his skill sets, the jobs that he's performed for the Baron, and your connection to him as a brother.
Probably shows how many eddies he gets information from the bank about his bank account statements and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. The second one is it's titled Yuri. And again, skill sets, missions that he's run, eddies paid out. And then there are about 7 security clip videos. All of them at the same bar and club. You see bright neon bars in the background. The ones you just walked by. He seemed to have visited this club multiple times. And he's with people, you haven't studied the videos carefully, but you think he's probably meeting some people who are concurrent in other videos, and then it's some group of people that he seems to occasionally meet here.
I call /root over to come look at the videos too.
Yeah, what is it?
Look at these. These are they're from here,
Hey.
but it shows Yuri talking with these. Do you know any of these people?
Zoom in on that.
You know that they're part of the Aldecados.
Oh yeah, that's the nomads, the Aldecados. Yeah, they sometimes come here. They're usually pretty chill. Most of the time. They get a little rowdy sometimes, though.
You know, one got shot about a month ago.
There's a big dust up, and one thing led to another, and one of them got shot. But it happens.
You think this Yuri would, or not this Yuri? You think Yuri would go back there? Maybe lay low for a while?
Maybe. If he had it's a great place to lay low. It's out in the Badlands, and they move around, so it's hard to keep track of them.
Can you find them?
I could try. I might have some fans that were Aldecados, you know?
You probably can. You know that they frequent the club enough because the club is actually in Aldecado territory.
Oh, okay.
In terms of the city, you guys are in a section of the city called, I think it's San Domingo.
Yeah.
It's got another name as well, but you are not on the main island of Night City at the moment, and the club is in the Aldecado territory. Their territory abuts what is called the Badlands or the Wastelands, and they have one of the few roads that leads out of the city that is worth taking.
Do we pay eddies to them from being in their territory?
They're not so mobster as that. They're pretty open to everyone.
But it's a like not a direct payment, but it's more of a they're just making sure that we don't fuck up their territory.
Yep. Jake, Fish also has encountered Aldecados, especially if he has a safe house outside of the city. They are usually the number one group that's moving around outside. They are the number one source of transportation of goods in the world. Ever since a lot of the flight paths and roads were destroyed in the wars, they have become the de facto transportation company.
I say I've bought parts off of them before, and fuel.
Yeah. I mean, we can get in touch with. Definitely get in touch with some of them.
If he's under their protection, that's another issue.
Yeah, they're not going to say shit. Talk about ethics. Aldecado's got some real strong ethics.
You close out, after going through those security clips, you close out. Next on the list is Surratt. Same deal, same list, and under location, similar to Yuri's, which were these videos, which suggest that they don't know where he lived and that this was the only lead. Surratt is actually similar. They were a little more thorough when looking at Surratt's location. And the way that they did this, there are about 30 different images of his art. And then there's a map overlay of those locations. And most are in a perimeter of the University District and the upper south side of Night City. And what it does is it kind of creates a loose circle. So it's very likely that he was living in some place around there.
Oh, I remember that. When he tagged that Biotechnica building, man, that Chum had some skill.
The last one, Mister. All the information is there. The only information on location was that they seemed to think that he moved regularly. So he didn't have one apartment. He seemed to either stay in hotels or hostels. They're not sure what it was, but his contact information was never the same whenever he gave it. And that included his phone. So he was a very difficult person to, unless he gave you his information, there was no way you were going to get in contact with him.
There's not much on the other two. Mr. moved around. Surratt, all I have is circles and shapes.
I mean, if Surratt was out, we would know about it. At least I know about it. I mean,
it doesn't seem like he's the type to lie low.
No. He'd make a show of it. If he could teleport, he'd be tagging the whole city. So either they're caught still, which, I mean, if it is Militech, they probably got whatever that thing is. He kind of points at the D12. They got something like that keeping them close. We don't know whether or not they're still captured.
You don't.
Or they're sedated.
Yeah.
Or they're free. It's possible that the people who apprehended them didn't know what they were dealing with, and as soon as the gas wore off, they vanished.
But yeah, maybe. I just don't think Surratt could hold it in like that, man.
I agree. I think if he were out there with this sort of capability, we'd be seeing his artwork. The others are a little smarter. They'd probably be hiding.
Yeah.
Switch can't stay away from tech too long. He needs a terminal as much as he needs food.
I still think we need to follow the same avenue and find out who leaked this mission. I don't think it was the Baron.
Slash kind of, he basically plopped the Baron's agent on the coffee table next to his gun. He picks it back up and starts fiddling with it.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to look for malware on like stuff that wasn't installed by the Baron that may be like a command control or something.
What kind of check can you make for me?
I could do computers. And I don't think I have any. Yeah, I can do computers.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Yeah.
Bugbear starts pacing around this studio room, and he's touching stuff that he shouldn't be touching, like turning knobs, and like the lights flick on and off again. He's again visibly very frustrated that we're like he wants to be moving. You'd think he'd run through a wall if he could.
Mm-hmm.
19.
There is a program on this phone. It will copy, paste, and send any incoming messages.
Oh, well, look at this trick. There is something on his agent. Some screen sharing, some good old fashioned. Why is my brain not thinking?
This is literally what you do.
I know, seriously.
Because I wouldn't have thought it to check for malware on his phone.
Some good old fashioned keystroke monitoring.
Keylogger?
Yeah, thank you. Jesus Christ.
Boom!
Welcome. You're a hacker
Get an
now.
inspiration point, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt gets my job.
Yep.
All right.
In real life.
In real life.
I don't want that.
It's some sort of keylogger, screen grab or something. Yeah, let me see if I can figure out where it goes. I'm going to see if I can identify the C2 source.
Sure. You're working on that for a while.
Yeah, it's going to take a while.
While he's doing that, I go back to that public console and I'm looking at what is it called? I know it's a big thing. The medical evacuation plans that you can get. The health insurance.
Trauma team.
That is actually the name of the corporation.
Trauma team is the name of the corporation. I'm looking at trauma team plans.
Okay.
Like kind of shopping.
Yep.
And I'm looking at the local hospitals like that they would bring people to. Like depending on your
there's
level.
another more budget one. I think it's called the Meat Wagon.
I want the good one.
Okay. Yeah, there is executive packages, there's corporate packages, there is the citizens package, and they range staggeringly in price.
Okay. Good but not crazy good.
Okay.
You know?
Yep.
And I'm looking that up while he's looking.
Sure. Bugbear, you're still crawling up the walls?
Yeah.
And Mazzino? Have you finished loading your gun?
Yes, he fired out of quite a few rounds, but he's finished. He's loaded up the belt back into his bag, and he's probably just sitting on a couch, rolling up a cigar, just watching the rest of them. He's not
Sure. You know that the kind of heavy lifting in the decision making department is going to be made elsewhere.
Yeah, he's done his work.
Yep.
He made a couple calls.
Yep.
Now he gets to relax and wait for the direction.
The John.
Yep.
The information that you're able to pull, the tracking information that you're able to pull, you recognize pretty quickly as a proxy dummy server.
Yeah, obviously.
It's going to be very difficult to find out who or where these messages were going. Jake, Fish finds one for $1,200 or eddies a month. You can get a standard, if not slightly above, trauma team package.
Okay.
I thought this was the dystopian future, not the real life.
Welcome to the dystopian future.
As soon as I heard executive package, I was like, I know exactly what this is.
I I write down an address of a hospital.
Sure.
Ah, man, I don't know. It's a proxy with a proxy, of course. I mean, this isn't some idiot, some choom, some 12-year-old script kiddie.
Not everything that you need to find is in the computer.
Yeah, but
Think about it. Who's responsible for his security?
good point.
Rose. I
Yeah.
show you the address of the hospital. Let's go talk to her.
Yeah. Where'd you get that info?
She was shot, unconscious. I assume that she has some sort of trauma team package. This is the closest hospital that would deal with that sort of gunshot wound.
All right.
Smart for an old man.
Yep.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Do you think they're just
As
going
he
to let
lights
us
up a
in?
cigar.
So the four of you now have a number of options. You're going to pursue the hospital with Rose, yeah?
I think we go beat up the secretary.
Yeah.
Love it. again.
Yep. The four of you pile into
Or
your...
we go into the fucking storm drains.
Yeah.
The four of you pile into the respective vehicles and you pull up to a nearby hospital. It is probably about 3 miles from the location of the Baron. It's up 8 stories on the what are now the modern streets, and it is a hive of activity. There are a lot of people getting hurt in Night City.
Checks out.
The trauma team, you see trauma teams flying in and out. They have a what is essentially a hangar that allows the AV vehicles to fly in and out. And the place is enormous. What do the four of you do?
Mazzinho is leaving his PKM in the vehicle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start off there.
Slash kind of opens we park next to each other, and Slash opens the door. This loud blaring music kind of starts spills out into the street as he walks over the driver's side door of the Land Rover and taps on. Well, now what?
You see him rolling down the window.
This is more your department.
Yeah.
And if you can't talk us in, I just look at Mazzino.
You do know, trauma teams are like,
No joke.
yeah, heavily armed. They, like cyber psychosis, they fight those off too. And they're basically like Max Tac with, a Band-Aid.
Oh, I hope you can get us in peacefully then.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right. He walks back over and turns his car off. And
There are people everywhere coming and going. It's moving towards evening, and the sky is a bright red. The lights of the city are coming on as you move towards the entrance to this hospital.
Dan, can we assume that we had a short rest in the
Yes.
Okay.
We can.
as we get into the foyer, Slash says, all right, you guys, why don't you lay back in the waiting area? I'll go talk to the nurse and see if I can lay on some of that charm,
Good luck.
And
Before he goes, here's a plan.
oh,
Here's what could happen. So, did you read this one, Dan? You want me to read it?
Topically, but for
sake
the
of
audience,
podcast?
yeah.
The GM truthfully warns me about one potentially negative outcome or consequence of the plan or action. And it need not be guaranteed, but it should be realistic. And then as a result, I can choose someone who gets to either reroll a failed ability check, gain advantage on a check or saving throw, or reduce damage from a single source.
Slash already brought it up, and it is by far the most significant thing that could happen. If you flash weapons here, while they may not be immediately on hand, the trauma teams, the extraction teams are a very significant and efficient fighting force, and they will be on you in no time. They are used to gangbangers, as they say, who get resurrected and come out fighting. They are used to people that they've resuscitated who are on the verge of cyberpsychosis going completely into cyberpsychosis. So that level of security does exist, especially in the trauma wards, which is where you're heading, most likely.
I say, Slash, what sort of weapons are you carrying? I'm sure that they have metal detectors.
Yeah, just a slugger.
It's probably going to go off unless you can get around the detection software.
I mean, to be quite honest, this thing's not going to be much use against Trauma Team. Kind of turns around, opens the trunk of his car, and just tosses it in.
Maybe lose the jacket, too. It screams anti-authoritarianism.
That's the point. Don't worry. There's bound to be a couple listeners in there. It's everywhere I go.
My
Fish.
tens of dozens of fans.
There are
Just like our
dozens of us.
podcast.
I say, why don't the two of you be ready to provide a distraction if necessary?
More waiting.
How about this? I'll provide the distraction. You guys, if it goes wrong, you'll know, and don't worry. I'll make a scene, and then you guys can, tiptoe around.
If something goes wrong,
Well, I don't think Miz can tiptoe. I don't think he can tiptoe either. But you get it.
All right. So I'm going to use that to give. So they don't have to pick right now, but they can reroll, gain advantage, or reduce damage.
Okay.
Once, and I can do it to two people. So I'll do it to Slash, and I'll do it to Mazzino since Matt can't roll.
Nice.
Thank you.
So basically
Saving
for
me
the
from
scene.
myself.
Yeah.
In walk the four of you. There are people coming and going. And I know that by your descriptions you sound outlandish, but you're not. This is
Yeah, what
everyone's
everyone
a
looks
freak.
like.
Night City. This is a lot of people out there are chromed up. There are a lot of kind of normal people looking like Fish as well. So the whole gambit is here. So you're not sticking out per se.
And Slash kind of saunders up to the reception desk.
She doesn't even look up. She says, "Can I help you?"
Darling. He kind of puts on with his vocoder a more soothing tone, less brash, and says, "I'm looking for my sister, Rose."
Your sister? You're related?
Yeah.
Last name?
Rose. I would have gotten the name from the agent if possible.
Sure.
Yeah. What was her last name? Rose.
Rose Delarose.
Rose
Tulip.
You guys are all so unhelpful. Rose Cassetta.
Cassetta. Rose Cassetta.
Can I see identification?
Oh, he pats his jacket. This is awkward.
She still hasn't looked up at you yet.
Yeah.
She's typing away at her terminal.
Do you know who I am? I'm going to use one of my icon plans.
She sighs
"Do you
deeply
know who I am?"
and finally looks up at you.
So
She takes an earbud out and it's Mimi Cats.
she makes a charisma saving throw against my DC, which my trick DC
I rolled a 10.
would be a 13, right? Because it's 8 plus that plus 2. Yeah, 13.
She got a 12. So you
Okay.
have, what is the effect?
So 1 second, D6. So on a failed save, the target does a favor for you. No questions asked. The favor can be time consuming as long as it won't take more than an hour. You can choose a number of the following properties for the favor equal to half the rosette on the influence die. So I've got to roll the influence die. 5, so round up. So 3. I don't know if these even matter, but favor could be expensive, embarrassing, dangerous, and illegal, or could get the target in trouble.
Okay.
Which is probably the last one, is the
Yep.
only one that actually applies.
She you see her, like, her shoulders kind of slump, and she, like, takes a deep breath, and she finally looks up at you. She's just so annoyed that it's gone this far. And when she looks at you, her eyes go a little wider.
Yeah.
And she goes,
Uh-huh.
the fuck you are related to her? I know who you are.
Yeah, I know. I needed to get, like, in. But you know, yeah.
Is this your girlfriend?
Look, I don't want this going out all in the screamers, all right? This needs to be hush-hush. But I know she got in trouble, and I need to make sure she's okay.
Look, honestly, I don't give a shit about you because my sister is obsessed with you. So look, this is what you're going to do. She pulls out her agent.
Yep.
You're going to call her right now, and you're going to say who you are, and you're going to take a picture with me.
Oh,
and then you're going to send it to her.
leave proof
Yeah.
behind.
Yep.
I love it.
And then I will get you where you need to go.
Okay. Just a little picture and a call. All right.
She gets out from behind the kiosk. She goes over to like where there's like a little cafe area where people wait. You two are now engaged, and she gets her sister on the phone, and her sister is losing her mind. And you give her sister a kiss on the cheek.
Yep.
And her sister screams. And then
I now have forgotten the fact that I'm leaving evidence, and
Yes.
I'm just in the moment now.
Living the dream.
And he's like, next time you want to, you and your sister, both of you are lovely. Come down to the cage for our next show. The Mimikatz, you'll have front row seats. You'll meet the band. You'll meet Kitty.
You are watching this, Fish, and you're watching this fucking idiot take a picture with an employee's phone and like smile and wave and talk, and then he hands it back to her, and then he walks over to the three of you.
The two of them.
Two of them. Where are you?
Bugbear, as soon as this nonsense started, he like went past the input desk and is somewhere in the halls. You're able to wander the halls for a little bit. There's, obviously stretches that lead to elevators, stretches that lead to other departments. There's a stretch that leads to a chapel, but eventually you hit security doors that you can't go any further. I turn, I walk the other way.
Sure.
I just keep walking.
Slash is like beaming and like laughing, and he turns and starts to walk towards the two of you sitting, and then remembers what he was doing and does an about face. He goes, "Oh yeah. The room and access to Rose.
Level 3 trauma, room 242.
Room 242. And I need to show anything to get up there, or
She's holding out a badge.
he grabs it.
It's a visitor's pass.
Okay. And then he says she hands it to him, and then he like holds her hand and pulls out a marker and then autographs her the back of her hand. Here you go. Something your sister is gonna go crazy over.
She's going to get it tattooed.
She kind of sighs and looks unimpressed and walks back. You can see her. She makes a detour to the bathroom.
Yep. and now Slash is like holding up the badge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here you go, boys. Let's go. Hey, where'd the kid go?
I gesture down the hallway.
Oh,
You can see him looking like a lost puppy.
yeah.
He's standing. There's another security door, and he's just standing, looking up at it.
Man, kid can't sit still, huh?
You're watching him like just staring at the camera, and it pans and then faces him and is just looking at him.
A threat detected.
Do you have a trauma plan?
Me? Oh, no, I can't afford that. And plus, whatever happens, man, like, it's karma, right? This doesn't know what.
As we're walking down the hall, I take a metal fork off of like a tray from like someone's like meal that they finished, and I start bending it as we're walking.
Hey, hey, kid, this way.
Finally.
The four of you pile into an elevator, take it to the third floor. When you exit the third floor, there aren't guards on the elevators, but they're guards on the trauma wing. You can see that there's only two of them, but they obviously have comms. There are security cameras here, any number of different safety measures.
I look at one of them,
It pans and looks at you.
just like looking at checking his gear, checking his tack.
Oh, no, sorry, the security camera.
Oh, yeah. I look at that too. I can see it sort of as I walk, and I hear this little buzz, and I turn and I look at it.
The security guards, they see the visitor pass, and they don't stop you guys.
Look, I told you, fans everywhere, Fish.
You walk through into another lobbied area. There are desks, nurses who are working on different files, gathering up all the info for patients. And you can see people being pulled in and out. And the room numbers, it's kind of that, in that very hospital way, very maze-like.
Never make any sense.
Yep. And
Yeah, it's so stupid.
you eventually figure out the room numbers, and as they kind of meander through different halls, and you get to 242.
Before we walk in, I say, Bugbear.
Hmm?
Are your arms grounded?
He like holds up his hands and shrugs.
Say, stick this in that outlet.
Is this a joke?
I shake my head.
Okay.
You stick it in the outlet. There is a notable spark, but you are not electrocuted.
I take it out and I
that
look at
would-
the fork.
That would be a yes. I open the door and there's no lights on in the room. I'm using a power called Cut the Power
Awesome.
to cut all power to the room. Because we're level 4, I can cut the power to the entire room.
Amazing.
Sick.
What I love about that is that fact of Devin being grounded was something that he kind of messaged me about
Oh,
early
that's so funny.
at the beginning of the game. He has a security measure on him that protects his cybernetics.
Oh, from like being electrocuted?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
So that was the fact that you could have just blown him off the fucking wall is amazing. That's excellent. You can hear the beeping from other rooms, but now this room is silent.
Mm-hmm.
There is a window, curtains are drawn, so there is some low light in here, but the room is dark. There are 3 beds in here. There's 2 patients.
When we come in, I like close the curtains around the other beds and then open the drape to, no, I don't open the drape. I just close the curtains around the other beds and then close the door.
You don't, the person who, both patients, including Rose, are asleep currently. There's a drip on both of them.
Hey, Miss, why don't you make sure the door doesn't open, huh?
I can do that.
Okay. You draw the curtains around both patients. Excuse me, around one patient who's sleeping, and you open the curtain to Rose Cassetta's bed. She is also sleeping. All of the tech has gone off around her. So the heart monitor is off. The other various machines that beep and usually blink are all off. But you're guessing that if she's sleeping through this transition, that she's probably drugged. There is a bandage. You can see that some blood has seeped through, and it's on her chest, where it looks like she took a round to the chest. Visually, I'd kind of very briefly described her in that flash. She has pink skin. What I imagine when I think of her is Gamora's sister there. What's her name? Nebula. Nebula.
Yeah.
So she has a bald head, but there is a lot of chrome and cybernetics across her body. She's kind of thin framed, but almost intimidating based on her appearance, even with that kind of pink hue to her skin.
Sinister.
I go over and I look at her medical charts. I look at the like drips that she's hooked up to and everything. I want to try to wake her up.
Sure.
Maybe that means administering something to her.
You know that there is a trauma kit for people who crash, and in it is a stim or an adrenaline boost that is supposed to help revive them, like a Narcan. And you know that she's heavily dwarfed at the moment. You could probably use that to wake her up.
Okay. Might kill her, but
Might kill her. You're looking at the report. She took a close gunshot wound to the chest. It missed a lung, but it still caused pretty heavy damage to her sternum.
all right. Yeah, I'll give it to her.
What are you doing?
Waking her up.
From what? Was she dwarfed?
A nod.
Okay, go ahead. And Bugbear's he looks to one of the bags and he's quietly and he's gonna detach
Taking a
one of the
few?
bags. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. You pull the needle, or the cap off the needle, and it's not like the movies. You're not going to slam it into her chest, especially with that
I'll probably
wound.
put it into her IV, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. You press it in kind of slowly, and her eyes flutter and then snap open. And she kind of half sits up in bed. And she's looking around kind of frantically, knowing that the last thing she experienced was getting shot. And then she sees the four of you around her bed.
I step away after that. I step behind, back, and let Mazzino and Bugbear sort of.
She holds up both her hands.
Slash goes, shh, 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 shh. No talking.
Bugbear reaches out and gives her a high five.
Her hand is metallic.
Cold.
Bugbear's big, oversized, oddly long arm is wrapped over the head of the bed, standing right next to Rose.
Have you come to finish what you started?
Well, I mean, kinda, but not like the way you thinking.
Her eyes squint.
We're not gonna.
She looks even more anxious when you say that.
We're not gonna. I mean, unless you don't talk, but we're not gonna hurt you. Don't worry. We just need to know some info.
She's breathing heavy.
Yeah.
The stims that you pumped into her are coursing through her veins. You can see blood kind of blossoming a little on her chest. What do you want? Where's Baron?
Beats me. We left the chum spinning in his chair.
She looks around the room. She's clearly assessing her surroundings. Well, get to it.
Does this proxy address mean anything to you?
You hold up his agent.
Yeah, with the C2 information, where it's connected to.
Is Baron alive?
Yeah, I mean, hey, Bugbear, is Baron alive?
Bugbear shrugs.
I mean, he might have broken a collarbone or something, but he was alive when I left him.
She looks nervous. Can someone make maybe an intimidation check or a?
I'm using my physical presence to intimidate and coerce this person.
Same.
That-
Or assist, I guess. Maybe give
you
him
can
advantage.
assist. Yeah.
I'll
There you
take
go.
advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, Rose, what is worse?
24.
She rolled a 19, but that beats it.
Yeah.
What's worse, being incompetent or betraying him?
You should lay down. And then Bugbear puts his hand on her chest and pushes her down onto the bed.
Because one of those two things happened, yes?
She's slowly getting pushed down by this cybernetic arm that kind of engulfs her. Look, I couldn't tell him that I needed the money. He wouldn't keep me on if he knew I was in debt.
Who gave him the 200,000 eddies?
That was one of the tiger claws. She's like, but that's neither here nor there. That, she points at the agent. That
Where's that little rabbit go?
it's a competitive fixer, or she says it's another fixer. He wanted to know what Baron was doing for that mission before the Four Horsemen arrived. That video had gone around. It was being shopped out.
Must have been a lot of eddies to get you to put this little keylogger on here, huh? That's a lot of ethics.
Who is it? The fixer. What's his name? What's their name?
She looks down. She's looking at her hands. You know she's weighing what's worse, telling you or not telling you.
Mazzino he put his hand up for that high five, and he just wrapped his fingers over hers, and he's just slowly squeezing. It's the assist, but he's just slowly squeezing her hands, crushing her fingers in his.
She's breathing heavy still. She says, his name's Barca.
I'm going to roll deception to not
Mm-hmm.
notify that we know that name. 15.
Yeah. She is looking at
Bark. Or looking at
between the two of them.
Yep.
She's like, can you get your fucking hands off me now?
Yeah, ease up, Bug. Ease up. And Ms., you don't need to like crush her whole hand or anything.
Bugbear leans back, takes his hand.
He stops.
Did anyone else know
No, what?
about that job?
I'm sure there were others. That video had been shared with Baron. But as to how many got that information and who from, I don't know. I handle his business affairs and some of the basic net running he needs.
You also meet all the edge runners he meets with.
Yes.
Wait. You checked your devices, right? I mean, Barker has you doing this for him. Maybe he had someone else do it to you.
I'm clean.
All right. Well,
I may have fucked the Baron, but I know what I'm doing.
clearly. He kind of like looks around at the hospital. But, all right. So Barker knows about this job. Was this the only job he knew about?
He knew whatever the Baron was logging on his agent. Everything's in there.
Yeah. Yeah, we know. Wow. How much in debt are you?
It's none of your fucking business.
How long ago did this happen? How long has he known?
About a week. I can't remember when the Four Horsemen first came in.
But he's known from the beginning.
Yes. I assume it's whatever the Baron put in his fucking agent. I don't know. I put it on there and I left it. I don't monitor it. I don't send anything. That's it. It was a one-time deal.
Bugbear starts pacing again. Agitated.
I think we're done. Yes?
Yeah. How about this, Rose? You didn't see us, we didn't see you. But if we get a whiff that any of this gets back to the Baron or any of this gets back to Barca, well, Baron's going to know. And then Barca's going to know. So we kind of both have our respective nuts in a vice, so to speak.
Just
Right?
get the fuck out of here and leave me alone.
Yeah. Hey, get well soon. And
Go fuck
he
yourself.
steps out.
Her adrenaline, is pumping.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to end.
Oh, man.
All right. We will work on what's next. Coming at you hot. Thank you for listening to Red Rising, a cyberpunk misadventure. Of course, we are forever grateful if you can leave us a review or, if you have a chance, share our stories with others, whether it's on socials, subreddits, a bullhorn, or a whispered secret. Check out our website for all your burning questions and eager updates. And don't forget, we have a separate D&D podcast because we're super nerds. Our intro music was a Wilhelm Scream. The theme song is Neon Drifter by Antti Martikainen. All scores by Antti Martikainen and Data Soundscapes. Their YouTube channel is Spacewave CR. Check them out. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, hack the planet.
That's nasty.
He also, excuse me. He also, sorry, Josh.